I would like to introduce Amy Pumphrey. She is a career consultant for the Career and Testing Center. She will be presenting on the brand me. So help me welcome Amy to present for us.
Good afternoon, everybody. So as Angie said, I'm here to present the brand me. So what does that mean? The brand me, we're going to focus on first, what is a brand me and how does that translate into a personal brand? How do you start to create a personal brand process? And we're also going to incorporate social media in there too. So, first off, what is a brand? Anybody want to take a crack at it? Anybody? I know somebody in here knows. Come on, guys. Marketing 101.
It's a product.
A product, right? Hi, guys. Got some worksheets for you. So it's a product, but what makes it important about the product? What makes it stand apart? Quality. Quality, right? Is it distinctive? Individual? Right. So Merriam-Webster says a brand is a characteristic or distinctive kind. So it sets it apart from everything else. So moving on, what is a personal brand? Tom Peters said that all of us need to understand the importance of branding. We're CEOs of our own companies, me Inc. To be in business today, our most important job is to be head marketer for the brand called you. So when you think about personal branding, you associate that with celebrities, right? The organizations they're involved with. Maybe you follow them on Twitter. Maybe you try to dress like them. So thinking about that and looking at a little worksheet I gave you, pick a celebrity and just kind of write down how their image is perceived among their target audience. Give you guys a couple minutes to do that. Anybody care to share their celebrity of choice and kind of how their image is perceived? Sure.
I feel like I chose Kevin Fargo, sci-fi hero, like Hercules, and the drama.
So how is his image perceived?
Hero character. I love to cut above everybody else. Always love me on.
Great, thank you. Anybody else want to share?
My son's Beyonce.
Okay.
People think she's like strong, fierce.
Anybody else? All right, so how do you translate those same things that we talked about, hero, strong, or being fierce? How do you translate those into a personal brand? So how do you create your own? So there's a 4-step branding process. The first step is finding out who you are. The second step is finding out how others perceive you. Your third step is going to be to create your own network. And your fourth step is going to be to maintain your brand. So starting off, who are you? So you are made up partially with your skills. So what are your abilities? You know, do you like to sew? Do you like to craft? What are your abilities? What are your professional experiences? What have you gained from internships or part-time jobs that you've done? Maybe some of you in full-time jobs. What skills have you gained? If any of you volunteer, you gain skills from that. Maybe you gain leadership skills. And then organizations as well. So, bring in that to your passions and personality. What are you passionate about? Maybe you're passionate about checking the news every day. Some people are almost fanatical about that. And you also include your personality in there as well. Okay. You also have unique selling points. What's unique about you? Be sure to think outside the box when thinking about that. We have a little video to show you.
Defining your unique selling points, a Career One guide.
When a company is determining how to advertise a product to consumers, they focus on unique selling points, or USPs, the things which make the product different from any other. The same principle applies to you when you're applying for a new job. You need to think about your unique selling points. What is the one reason that an employer should hire you above all other candidates? Employers can receive hundreds of applications for each role, so it is important that you make your application stand out and get shortlisted for an interview. Put yourself in the shoes of your clients or colleagues. The image that you have of yourself may differ from the image that you project, and you may find that a skill that you can excel at, but consider to be routine, is highly regarded and desired by others. But employers don't just buy skills, they buy solutions. So how can you make the company money? How can you save the company money? And how can you resolve the problems that they have? By thinking more in depth about your skills and abilities, you may realize that you're especially proficient at solving complex problems. So your USP is something along the lines of seasoned project manager who excels at identifying and solving problems. Calculate how much money you have generated or saved your organization during your employment. Your USP becomes seasoned project manager who excels at identifying and solving problems, saving my employer more than $300,000 while completing in excess of $1 million worth of projects during the past 3 years. Now the employer can see they will get a return on their investment if they hire you. Think about the employer's challenges and how you can provide solutions. Don't list your USPs, sell them by demonstrating your experience or success. Anyone can have strong organizational skills, but not everyone can give examples or instances when they have successfully implemented these attributes.
This guide was brought to you by...
Okay, so moving on. So now that you know what a unique selling point is and maybe how you can incorporate that onto your resume, we're going to move on to how do others view you, how do they perceive you. So think about what your professor would say about you, maybe what your best friend or your mom would say about you. What those people would say about you will all probably be slightly different. Some of it may be the same. But think about that, keep that in consideration. Also, consult Google. How many of you have Googled yourself? Quite a few. So what did you find? Found maybe like a Facebook account, if you had a MySpace way back when, maybe you found your MySpace. Did you find anything surprising at all? Anybody? Nothing surprising. That's good. But for those of you that haven't, take time to Google yourself and see what's out there. Okay. The third step, create your network. So how do you do that? It's pretty easy. You just become involved. Network. The chamber, the Belmont Chamber, or any local chamber, has events. So maybe they have mix and mingles or ribbon cuttings. Places where people, businesses are out there putting their face forward in the community. That's a great place for you to put your face in the picture and maybe get to network with some of those business professionals. Also your organizations. Most of you guys in here are business majors. And just for example, AMA, the American Marketing Association, there's a student chapter here. There's also a professional chapter in Houston. And you can go to their events and network with those professionals If you want to go into marketing, maybe you don't. Maybe they have a job opening in their company. You can also volunteer places. So maybe volunteer at some other place on a Saturday a month. Maybe you can meet someone there. Maybe they may be the CEO of Entergy, or the president of a local business. So that's the first step. Influencers. You're going to find experts in a field. That's someone that you look up to. Maybe somebody that you want to, maybe you want to be in their shoes one day. Find an expert. Maybe they'll become your mentor. But ask them a few questions. Again, become involved in organizations. Of course, in the appropriate fields. And last is community. You want to get involved in your community, whether that's networking, whether that's joining an organization. Get involved. All right, and your last step is to maintain. So if you don't maintain it, you've just done all this hard work for nothing. Maintaining is the most important part, and sometimes kind of hard part. But maintain it. All right, resumes. I kind of touched on this with unique selling points and skills. But how many of you guys have a resume? Just by show of hands. And how many of you gone to the Career Center to get that resume critiqued? Have somebody look at it? A few. Great. For you guys that haven't, we're a free tool. We're right across the hallway. Probably you walk by us every day. So stop in sometime and get us to look over your resume. Okay? But this is a resume example of somebody that's in a creative field, is eye-catching. He's a web designer, web developer. Your resume is not going to look like this if you're a business student. It's probably going to be more black and white, but that's just an example of what a resume could look like. And here we have a mini resume. How many of you know what a mini resume is? One. A mini resume is perfect for a networking event. It's basically your resume condensed on a business card. So on the front, can you guys see this? Yes, sir. On the front, it's going to just be your contact information and your skills. This person has their LinkedIn web address on there. On the back is their professional profile. And what that is, that's 3 to 5 sentences about you. They have their education. They also have briefly their experiences, where they worked and when. But still, it's a great tool, and they're pretty cheap. Okay. So what else ties into personal branding? Social media ties into personal branding. It's one of the vehicles that's going to help you create your personal brand. So LinkedIn is the professional space. But how many of you guys have a LinkedIn? How many of you know what how many of you that did raise your hand know what LinkedIn is? Okay. This is going to kind of give you a brief overview of what LinkedIn is and how we help.
If you've ever received an email that says join my network on LinkedIn, you've probably wondered, what is LinkedIn? A simple answer is that it's the world's largest professional network, helping people find and share opportunities every day. But how is it relevant to you? Managing your career is just one reason to join LinkedIn. As you develop your professional profile, you establish an authoritative resource on your experience and capabilities that lets people find you when they search the internet. In 2 minutes, you'll be up and running with the most important page on the web you'll ever have. Do you know what people find when they Google your name? With LinkedIn, you'll have more control over what appears in Google results, and having a robust profile encourages people to approach you with opportunities. Many of your contacts are already on LinkedIn, and you can reconnect just by uploading your address book. This lets you stay in touch even as your contacts change jobs and email addresses. Your reputation is summed up by the relationships you've developed over your career. LinkedIn helps you maintain these relationships authentically. In addition, when you want to make new business connections, you can find people using LinkedIn's search tool, then see who you know in common. This makes it easy to request an introduction from your trusted connections. You can also join a LinkedIn group where professionals in your field discuss issues and solve problems related to your industry. Link to your Twitter account to share tweets with your professional network, both from LinkedIn to Twitter and vice versa. And use LinkedIn's mobile application to stay current with your network wherever you are. These are just a few features that help you get the most out of LinkedIn. Whether you're working in an office or on the go, LinkedIn keeps you in touch with the people that matter to your career. And since signing up is free, LinkedIn just might be the best investment you'll ever make in your career.
Okay, so now that you kind of know what LinkedIn is, or you got a refresher course on it, here's just 5 quick things to help you build a professional presence online. So first, you complete your courses. Courses are relevant to your career, any certifications you may have, any organizations, along with any role that you were in. So if it's a leadership position, include that. If it's just a member, that's okay too. Include that too. You also include any volunteer experience and causes that you're affiliated with, and then you can do a portfolio on there. If you're a marketing major, that's a great way to show off anything you may have done in the ads that you did. Or even if you're just an accounting major and you don't really have anything like that to show off, maybe you want to include a presentation from any group work that you've done or any type of project. Okay. So the 5 golden rules of a student LinkedIn profile. Number 1, you want a professional photo of you alone. So what does that mean? That doesn't mean that you're going to be in your sweatshirt and you're going to take a picture of it on LinkedIn. You're going to try to look nice. Maybe an Oxford shirt, so a button-down shirt, or maybe just a jacket over, and just a headshot. So shoulders and up, and you want to look well-groomed. Also, number 2, a headline with your area of study or your career missions. 3, keyword-rich summary, kind of like we had in that mini resume. Keywords you want to extract. Again, include your volunteer activities, organizations. And number 5, get recommendations. LinkedIn is a great way to get recommendations. Some of you have to have recommendation letters for graduate school or for whatever program. But this is a great way to get it for your professional life. Get recommendations from your professors, your peers, anyone you may have worked with. There's 2 billion people worldwide on LinkedIn. So that's a great way to get recommendations. Okay. So we kind of talked about the positive professional side of social media being LinkedIn, but what about the bad part? How impactful is social media? So here's just a quick video about social media. And you want to use your little pieces of paper and fill out the questions. you guys kind of got a taste of how impactful social media is, not just here in the U.S., but abroad as well. My favorite part was the babies in Egypt have been named Facebook everywhere. I don't know about you guys, but that was my favorite part. So, with social media, keep in mind for your Facebook, your Twitter, your Pinterest, for you ladies and gents, that your pictures and stats, on those that you want to remove anything that may be inflammatory. So if you've used foul language on anything on Facebook or Twitter, you might want to remove those posts. Untag yourself from pictures that may leave you in a compromising situation. Be professional. As you guys are going out there looking for internships and jobs, recruiters check your Facebook and your Twitter, any kind of social media account that you have. They check that. And you don't want to have anything on there that may be a red flag. Keep your settings to friends only. Most of you probably have that. And with your pictures, set up your Facebook to just, if somebody tries to tag you in a picture, that it sends you a link to approve it before it actually links you to it. So that's just that. And last, your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. Just remember that as you're creating your personal brand. Okay. Here is the cover of our magazine, the link. It's coming out soon, so keep a lookout for it. It's online, so you guys can access it on